feel new because when you come home, it doesn't feel new, right? So I am home, and I just want to thank all of you for making me feel that way. So thank you so much. So first, the next thing I want to do is congratulate you all for being here because, I mean, how many people have in your Park Lane history recruited 5 or more people? Raise your hand for me. Look, you know what? You guys are in the top 1% of all recruiters in the world in our industry. If you have recruited 5 or more, so give yourself a round of applause. Okay? So this is a really big reason why I believe in three-way chats, you guys. We have heard about mindset today, right? We have heard, and that is a big part of recruiting. Again, only 1% of people that ever join our industry recruit 5 or more people. And the big reason is fear, right? And the not knowing and talking ourselves out of it, all those things. So mindset is a really big part of it. We've been hearing about support, like crazy good support, like we have in our boards, we have with our onboard training, with our new people. Can you even fathom just doing like, you got your kit and that's it, like I've experienced at other places? Can you even fathom that? No, because we have such great systems, tools, leadership, and everything here. Well, it's kind of what we expect people to do, not totally, because we do have, the words and boards and things like that, but we kind of expect people to recruit all by their little selves, don't we? Just go ask people. Make that list, go ask. They're terrified. Tiffany said she's terrified, right? And you talked about you came back from Paris and you're seasoned and you were feeling that way, right? So what is the difference another question for you. Have you ever not asked somebody that you really wanted to be on your team? Have you ever not asked them, right? It happens every day, you guys, with everyone. Now, how would it feel differently if I challenged all of you to go out right now in Round Rock and find somebody to share the opportunity with? And I said you had to go by yourself. Oh, y'all got real quiet, Now, what if I said get a partner and you guys go share Park Lane? Feels differently, right? So guys, we've heard over and over today, recruiting is the answer. Have you guys ever heard of Rita? This is a beauty control thing. Whatever the problem is, Rita, recruiting is the answer. And we've heard that over and over today, right, about promoting and everything. And so we need to help people learn how to do this. None of us just know how to do this. It is a muscle. Someone else mentioned that today. It's a muscle that we can build, and we need to do it often. And what I have found in my 16 years is I will go through spurts sometimes, and when I'm not feeling very confident, for whatever reason, I don't ask people. But again, if I had that support, possibly I would ask. And so that's what really three-way chats are all about. You set it up in Messenger, three-way chat. You guys should know how to probably know how to do that. Or text if you're working with Christy, because she doesn't look at Messenger very often. And so, sorry.
At least I'll let you know.
I just had to throw that in there. So, like sisters, we have to tease each other. And so set it up. And so I want to talk to you about how to keep your business and then help your team, because you've already done it, right? You are at least one step ahead of your team in recruiting. That means you can help them. We just have to be one step. You don't have to be the best. You don't have to have recruited tons and tons. You're in the top 1%, right? So why would we not leverage that? Why would we not leverage that and help our team do that too? So these are ways to keep your team fit, okay? So F stands for that these three-way chats are for the prospect or for the team, not for the person trying to add the team member, because this is where we get in our heads, right? Because I'm asking them to join for me, for the trip, for the promotion, whatever. So if, again, someone else, I think Brad was talking about, if you're in a place of gratitude, you can't be, down or whatever, and you can't feel selfish if you're in a place of serving. So really focus that these chats are for the prospect and the team. And the reason why I say it's the team, it really shows that prospect that when and if they come into Park Lane, they're not alone either, right? They've got somebody supporting them. They don't have to know everything. My gosh, you guys, the very first training I went to when I joined this industry, the trainer could just spout off all of this stuff, and I was sitting there going, I will never know all of that she's saying. I was so intimidated, right? So again, that takes that factor out of it, and they know that if they make that decision, because what happens when people are deciding whether they're going to join or not? Can I do this? Is anybody going to order from me? Will anybody, all those things, and will I have help? Because again, we've all done something that we've joined and we didn't have support. Okay, so those three-way chats are really important. Here's a real big tip: don't be weird. Don't be weird, guys. But you can make three-way. How many have been in a weird three-way chat or a three-way call? Right? Like it's weird. So don't do that. Just act like you're in person. Don't overthink it. Again, if I wanted to introduce Tiffany to Marie, I would ask their permission. I would just do it, right? Like if you were at a cocktail party, I wouldn't ask permission. Can I introduce you to her? No. So just don't make it weird. You just do it. If people don't like being there, they will leave. Okay, they will let you know they will leave. So don't be weird and just act like you're in person. The next part of FIT is it's informational. Again, I think you're going to mention this. We're not trying to recruit people. We are giving them information to make an educated decision. Does that feel differently? Mm-hmm. It does. It feels very different, right? And so it's our job. I'm not trying to talk people into anything. I'm trying to give them information so they can make that decision. And here's the thing, guys. If you are the one talking the most in the chat, you're quote unquote losing, right? You're losing the chat because you're now talking them into something. And I will tell you also, in a three-way situation, three-way chat, it doesn't feel so much like you're trying to talk them into something. It's just giving information, because one-on-one, it kind of just feels like that a little bit more. What will happen, you guys, is compressed time. Can your team recruit by themselves? Maybe. Will it increase the chances if they have your support, they have your knowledge? Absolutely. And will it speed it up? Absolutely. Okay? So again, I told you guys that only 5% of people ever recruit, ever. Okay? Only 1% ever recruit 5 or more. Get this, guys, 50% of people that come into our industry drop out in the first year. If they have parties on their books, in their calendar, and they have team members, the chances of them leaving goes way, way down. So that's why I think this part of us supporting our team is so vital, right? And then we always know we're growing or going, right? So we need to be recruiting always. But this is a really big, I'm excited to share this with you because it's a really big impact that you can make on your team, and you can do it today. You can decide that you're gonna build this culture in your team that no one chats alone. And really, if you look at our society, you guys, this is how, like if you want a plumber and you don't know who to hire, what do most people do today? They throw it on social media and they're like, who should I hire? It's that third-party verification that's happening, and so it happens in these chats as well. Now, the T on FIT is teaching moments. Again, you are learning while you're earning, right? Your team is. And you are too, because you're helping them make more money, and then we get paid as well. So it's a teaching moment, and they get to, instead of having to ask them, what did you say? Instead of having to send them words to say, they're seeing it in real time, right? And again, I think you mentioned you reach out to Tish because she has a vested interest, but it's not as much as you in that, that person joining. And so that's what happens. Sometimes they're like, I can't believe you said that to her. But I can say it because it's not my friend yet, right? And so they can see all that in real time. It builds their confidence in doing it as well. This is one of my pet peeves when I have talked to a conversation with a team member and they say, well, I shared with her and she said no. And I went, so? I don't even hear no anymore, you guys. I literally, no means not right now, but most people stop right at no. They don't go any further. They don't ask questions like we've talked about all day today, right? And I'm going to talk about that in just a second. So it builds that confidence. Learn while you're earning. It's not as personal. So what are some barriers to three-way chats, you guys? So these are some things that I would recommend not doing. Again, asking permission, it just makes it weird. It's like, oh, here we go. They're going to try to recruit me. It just makes everything weird. Do give the third party, the person you're adding, a backstory. So I'll message Christy and I'll say, hey, this, she's also a single mom, blah, 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 blah. I give her a little backstory and some things for them either to bond over or for her to know that she's like me and that type of thing. Everybody wants that Me Too effect, right? So it's like they get me. And so it's really important for them to have a little backstory, know that it's coming. But what's beautiful about three-way chats is that you don't have to answer right away. Everybody's busy. You can come in and out, as you need to. Don't overwhelm them. Like if you put multiple people in, or even just the three of you, don't, like Christy says something, then I say something, and Christy says something, and they haven't even answered yet at all, right? So don't overwhelm them, and then don't make it about you. Make it about them, and it feels completely different. Now, who goes into these chats, you guys? This is not a cold call situation, right? I really want her on my team and I just throw her into a chat. No, this is somebody that I've invited to an event. They've been on a necklace night. They've been on New Beginnings. I've shared a video. Like they have some information and they're kind of pre-qualified that they have a level of interest. They've raised their hand. They're watching my stories. They're commenting on my stuff. They're in my VIP group. And so they're a warm lead, okay? And so then it doesn't make it as uncomfortable. Do ask a lot of questions. And after they've been on something, you ask them, what did you love? What did you love? And guys, if they just said, I love Scott's stories from New Beginning, then that's all we talk about is Scott's stories. We don't talk about anything else. If they say, I want to do a trip, we only talk about trip. If they say, I love jewelry, we only talk about jewelry. I have talked people into joining and talked them right back out by talking too much and talking about what I love, okay? Because we have to relate to what they love. And so here's some verbiage to wrap up, you guys. This is Justin Prince verbiage, or at least I got it from him. When you're in, and again, this is stuff that your team will be learning as they see you talking to them, in the chat. But one thing